Bobby. So I've been a bit quiet on these old videos recently. I've had my knee op, and then I've been trying to sort that out, trying to do a few bits and pieces of my own stuff. And then yesterday there was a scramble on at Acorns, which my missus was riding in, so needed to get a couple of bikes ready for her. Yeah, so just been busy really, not getting bikes ready for sale, just busy with other stuff. Anyway, this is a pretty cool bike. Those that you know of you that know what this is, will probably be in a bit of a minority, I would think. So this is a 1996 CCM C25. So 1996 was the 25th anniversary year of CCM, and the C25 stands for the 25th anniversary model. So this is a 604cc 4-stroke Rotax motor that's in this bike. It's got all trick bits on it, Pioli forks and fancy shock, as you expect from CCM. White power, I think, is it? I think so. I'll have to double check that, but yeah, fancy bits and pieces that you would expect from CCM. And like I say, they built 100 bikes, 100 or 102, it was a very small number, and they basically did 50 motocross ones and 50 enduro ones. Now I've got a little search set up in America for CCM, and a CCM C25 came for sale, which looked pretty nice, and so I bought that. And then the guy that I bought it off messaged me and said, "Oh look, my brother who died also had one, and his widow wants to sell it. Would you be interested?" So he sent me pictures of it and stuff, and that's this one. Now it's a bit strange really. I've sent the frame and engine numbers off to CCM, and it's the 59th. So the frame number is CCM C25 059. It's the 59th bike that was built, and it's an enduro bike. Now I've sent them the engine number, and they confirmed that is the engine number that came with this bike, and it's an enduro engine. Pretty much the difference is just the gearbox ratio. So it's got slightly taller gears for enduro. I would suspect that the suspension settings are slightly softer as well, but other than that, and it would have had lighting on it. The lighting has been taken off. The lighting coil is still there, so you could put lighting back on it. But I mean, even with the taller gears, that 604 motor is going to have loads and loads and loads of grunt. Now the weird bit is that on the headstock here, which you won't be able to see from there, there is an AMA Pro sticker on the frame. Now that means that this bike has been raced in an AMA Pro race. Now these bikes, when they were built, that was one of the reasons for them being built, to race in the AMA Sounds of Thunder, I think it was called, series, and I believe that one of these actually won the series. It's scuffed off a little bit, so you can't see which year that was, but the AMA doesn't do enduro. So it has to be a motocross race. I'm sure it does. So that's the confusion about it really. But other than that, it's a flipping lovely bike. Anyway, so going to be up for sale today, obviously. When I got it, I pushed down on the kicker and there was no compression. It just literally just kicked over freely. And so I thought, oh, flipping heck. So I've put it in the back of the storage unit, and then I've pulled it out last week and had a look, and basically it was the decompression valve was stuck open. So literally I've just lubed the little rocker on the head, and it now opens and closes freely, and we've now got bags of compression, and the thing is running great. Needs a little bit of warming up. It does tick over and everything like that. I haven't ridden it because of my knee, and I'm not going to ride it. It does go through the gears, like I say, it does run, and I've literally taken the sump plug out and just to see what the colour of the oil were like, and it's crystal clear, lovely, like as fresh as the day it was put in, oil. So I haven't done anything else with it other than kind of run it up. I did check the valve clearances, which were tight, so I've slackened them off a bit into spec, and like I say, it's now running fantastic. So there we go, lovely bike, very rare. There's no US title with it, but like I say, I've emailed CCM and they've confirmed the year of manufacture. Now I'm assuming if you give them a bit of money, they'll send something on CCM headed paper to say what it is, or I can give you the email that they've sent. DVLA might accept that, and I've got a Nova certificate for it to say that it was imported and all the taxes were paid and everything like that, so it won't be a problem getting it registered. Just a cool thing really, and obviously extremely rare, and in years and years to come, obviously it's a 25th anniversary model, it's going to be worth a hefty sum of money, I would say. Anyway, let's have a quick look around it, and then we'll get it fired up and do the gearbox check and all of that good stuff that I normally do. Like I say, I'm not going to ride her because I can't afford to have anything go wrong with my knee at this stage. I know it sounds a bit funny, but just a little flipping slip or something could do it in, and I've waited long enough. So anyway, there we go. We'll have a closer look at her, and you can see how nice she is, and she really doesn't need a lot, to be honest. To make her rideable, she really doesn't need much at all, and then it just depends on what you plan to do with it. So actually, a couple of things that I want to point out. One is the stickers on the tank are bobbled and peeling. I actually think that that's a motocross tank, but I could be wrong. So I think that this has been ridden as pretty much a motocross bike rather than an enduro bike. You can see the Pro AMA sticker there. Like I say, there's no year on it, or I can't see or make out a year. There is the start of a serial number there. One bad bit is this bit here. So the bolt that holds the stator cover to the crankcase, there's been some damage to the crankcase and the stator cover. That would be repairable, but it's not doing anything untoward as it sits there. So whether you would do anything to that or not is up to you. That's where the oil filter lives. So that plate there holds that oil filter cover in. It's a bit of a strange design really, I'm not entirely sure why it needs to do that, but it does. So all in all, oh, and that's the other bit. So on the other side of the tank, obviously bobbled sticker again, other side of the tank, there is this little nick here. Now there is fuel in this tank and there's no fuel leaking out of there, so that is a watertight, it's not gone all the way through, it's not perfect. That's the only thing. So what we normally look at is things like the pipe. So it's a 4-stroke, so they don't damage quite the same as the 2 strokes. There is a little dint in it there, but other than that, the header pipe is in good nick, and all the way back it's got a super trap silencer, muffler as they would call it in America, on it, which sounds great. And it's like a spark arrestor. Anyway, they sound good. You'll hear it in a minute. Sound proper good. Fork chrome is bang on. The fork seals aren't leaking. All look to be good. There's stone chips and that on the fork tubes on the lowers, but nothing detrimental. Nice Brembo brake caliper there. The front rim is perfectly round on both sides, so the front wheel is in good nick. What have we got? Some slight damage to this frame rail here. That would be repairable. Someone would be able to repair that. Looks as though that's hit a rock and then slid down the rock. I mean, I'm assuming that when this bike was new, it would have had a sump guard on it. It being an enduro model, but maybe that was an optional extra that wasn't gone for. Don't know. But as you can see, the motor of that looks in good condition. Just looks as though it's been used. You know what I mean? It was obviously used at a relatively high level for it to have that AMA Pro sticker on the frame. Someone with some talent has had this bike. Rear shock looks good, not leaking again. It's got damping. When you push down, it's not bouncy or anything like that. Everything's as it should do. The front brake works. The rear brake works. It changes through the gears. It's got that noise. An oil gurgle from the engine breather. Lots of compression lock. And it runs great, so obviously it's got more than enough. Rear wheel looks perfectly straight to me, and in perfectly good working order. Swing arm looks to be in good nick. Whoever's had it has taken the side stand off. I just noticed this piece here. Looks like something's worn on that. I bet that's the stand that's worn on that as it's been bobbling up and down. But other than that, it's in good order. And then the same the other side. Beautiful bike. They are, honestly. I've been avoiding this moment because I just like looking at them, really. The other one's a motocross one, so I am going to do a little bit more to that and probably ride it and stuff when my leg's better, just to see. I mean, I'm a 2-stroke person really, but CCM are a flipping one of them bikes, aren't they, that you want. And I know this is a bit of a newer one than what a lot of people would be after, but 25th anniversary model, it's a bit special. I think the C25 was the first bike that Austin Clues designed himself, so there's a bit of history and a bit of interest there, I suppose, isn't there? Yeah, anyway, lovely thing. Let's get it fired up and get the gearbox check done, and then you can hear a purring and see that it goes through all its gears and this, that and the other, and then we'll get some pictures and get her up on the old internet. So I've just had it running, and something I just want to mention. When it runs, it does dribble a bit of oil out of the overflow, the breather, and I'm assuming it's because it's slightly over full. Now the job to do would be to do a full oil change, but literally I'm getting it running, I'm showing you it running, and I'm doing the gearbox check, and then the rest of it is up to you really. So the knack is, you get it over dead centre, and then just a fraction of a bit more, and now it won't go, will it? Just stalled as I turned the camera around. You heard it did run nice. It does run lovely. It is a bit funny to get going, I suppose. Takes a good few kicks, which is why I stopped the video. I must have kicked it about 15 times before it went. But once it's running, that engine is sweet, really. Just needs a little bit of fettling, maybe a bit of a carb clean or something like that, or maybe another look at those valve clearances. Maybe I'll turn the fuel off there. But it sounds great. I mean, it'd be a fantastic thing to ride, and if you were following someone on it, I'm sure it'd sound very menacing. Which is what we all like, isn't it? So we'll do the gearbox check now, and then get some pictures of a little beauty. Here we go with the old gearbox check. So neutral there, as you can see. Down into first. Absolutely no way of me turning that wheel. Neutral again. Second. Third, fourth, fifth, and yeah, I was going to say, does it have a sixth? But it doesn't. It's 5-speed, back down into fourth, third, second, and neutral. There we go. 1996 CCM C25 604E. The E stands for the Enduro. Gorgeous bike. Mecca, flipping great thing to own. Lovely collector's item, and be a lovely thing to ride, I'm sure. Please like this video and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Just search Phoenix Motos.